Hello.
What's up, guys?
I
Welcome
can't
back.
remember how to do this. It's been like a month.
Yeah, it's been a little while. We kind of slipped up in December, but
We didn't slip up. Life happened.
yeah, Christina got
Stop.
the boogeyman disease.
That's like the most exciting thing about this episode is to talk about COVID.
Yeah, you just had.
But you went to Mexico. Let's start with that.
I did go to Mexico. That was a great time. It was a work trip. Had a lot of fun. Went to Tulum. Got to see a whole bunch of cool shit. It's my first time out of the country. I got a
Aw.
tattoo to commemorate it and everything. And yeah, it was good. And COVID basically didn't exist in Mexico, oddly enough.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, no masks, no social distancing, like
And
groups
they're
of
fine.
200, 300 people sitting outside of a bar. Everyone's been totally fine. Not a single
And you
soul.
didn't get COVID when you
Nope.
got back.
Good to go.
But me, who's been stuck here for the past year, I came home and got it, or you came home and I had it.
Yeah, but basically at this point though, there's no such thing as the flu or the common cold. It's COVID.
Just COVID.
Yeah. If you get hit by a car, you don't get hit by a car, you get hit by COVID.
Just COVID.
That's it.
You don't die from anything else, just COVID.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it really wasn't that bad.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. And I'm not saying that it's not bad for other people, but I think I'm fairly healthy, and I didn't even know I had it the first 4 days. I thought it was just a cold, and then I lost my taste and smell, and that's when I pretty much knew I had it. I just felt really congested, but I couldn't blow my nose or anything. There was nothing happening. It was weird, but no fever, no body aches, nothing like that. So
You survived.
I survived, and I'm grateful that it wasn't, worse than it was. So
Yeah. And just to preface, I'm not downplaying COVID for people that have serious cases from it. I'm just downplaying the hype behind COVID.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Not everyone needs to be freaking out about it. I think if you have other conditions, you should be concerned,
Yeah.
just to be careful or whatever. But I don't think everybody needs to be freaking out over this.
Yeah. I just think everyone should just be questioning everything. And I'll leave it at that.
Question it all.
Question everything. And then question what you're questioning.
And then just not know what you're talking about at all.
Yeah.
You're what is this? What am I living in? But yeah, all good things. I'm kind of glad December's wrapping up. I'm happy that 2020 happened. I'm happy that this year happened.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a great year. This has been one of the best years of my life.
Yeah. It was, I would say it was a very transformative year for me. And I mean everyone's lives changed significantly. 20 years from now, we're going to look at 2020 and know exactly what happened. I can't say that about 2015 or 18. Nothing pivotal happened that those years, but 2020 is significant in history, I think. So
Yeah.
it was a big year.
I think a lot of the benefit that came out of this year was the fact that there wasn't really much to do. Everyone's at home, or even if they're not home, where we're living, you can still pretty much go out, but there's no festivals, there's no giant shows, concerts, there's not a lot of traveling going on. So people have had time to sit at home and reflect, work on themselves, just get a re-evaluation of what's important. And they kind of had to hit a hard reset button, and it's caused people to grow in a lot of different ways that they usually wouldn't have because they were so distracted by
Life
going out and doing things and stuff like that.
Right.
So.
The consciousness kind of changed. I know that word is thrown around a lot in new age, spirituality and stuff, but I do think there's a conscious level of people waking up in a sense of questioning the government, questioning just politics and COVID and things like that. I think people were so much more aware this year than they've been in the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think all of this had to happen, and I don't know. I think it, like you said, I think it was a great year. The amount of growth I did in this year compared to other years was significant.
Absolutely. What would you say would be the biggest spiritual or internal change that's happened to you this year? And then what would you say would be the biggest monetary or tangible change that's happened to you this year?
So one is the first one is like the spiritual internal, and then the second kind of
like
external.
self-growth, and then external would be like either your job or something like that.
I think this year, spiritually and like in personal development, I've let myself really be able to reflect on what I'm doing, like, and be honest about how I'm treating a situation. Like, I think I've gotten a lot better at being honest with myself and like seeing my own shit, because I don't think I was like very receptive to that before, or like, I don't know, I think I'm viewing myself and what I do differently. Like, I feel like I'm able to be that third person perspective looking at my choices differently, and like reflecting on like the past year of like personal decisions I've made in like relationships or like work and things like that, and like kind of come at that as like someone that isn't me. Like, I'm able to look at those decisions honestly, if that makes sense. Like, I'm getting better at that without judging like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or oh, like, why did you do that? Or does that make sense? It's like I'm able to be like honest with myself and like recognize when I've made like probably not the best decision, and like not beat myself up over it, but like reflecting on it and like taking that into the future. So I think my self-reflection really changed this year.
I like that. That's good.
So yeah, that was probably like the biggest thing that was the first thing that came to mind when you said that. And then externally, I feel like everything changed, you know? So like my job,
this was
like
a massive year for you externally.
Yeah, like nothing is the same as it was last year, which is kind of crazy, because I feel like if you would have told me this time last year that you wouldn't be living in St. Pete, you wouldn't be like still seeing the same guy, you wouldn't have the same job, like you wouldn't have the same car, like I don't know, like I would have been like, what the fuck, like what is my life gonna be? But like it really worked out to be fine. Like, of course I'm like, everything's okay, like it's good, but like I would have never expected all different like parts of my life to change, you know? Or even like this podcast idea started in the beginning of this year, which is so crazy to think about. Yeah. Because like this time last year, we weren't doing this, you know? So that's huge. I feel like fucking everything externally changed. Sorry, but like that's what it is. So yeah, what about you?
I would say spiritually, or like on a personal development level, I read less books than I was expecting to this year, but the books that I read were full of so much meaning, and kind of put me on to like a really good path. So I have decided towards the end of this year and going into 2021 that I'm going to be getting in touch with like my traumas, repressed pain, and just things from like my past, because I want to just uproot it, get it up, muddy the water, take care of it, so then I can move on, because I feel like that's the biggest thing that's been holding me back, is being the best person that I can be, is like not getting in touch with like my emotions and the things from the past. So I think I'm at a point now where I'm mentally strong enough to address these things and deal with them. So on that sense, that would probably be the biggest part there. And then as far as like the monetary, the physical, and other things, I got a new job, which I've spoken about in a few episodes. That job has completely changed my life. It's been amazing. And then like I put away money. I have like a nice apartment now.
I feel like your whole character is different. Yeah. I like came across, I think, was it yesterday, maybe the day before, like a memory of you making drinks at Dr. Barbecue for Shay and I was like, oh my god, that was only a year ago, but that Steven is like, I feel like that was years ago of you. Like that's not like I don't see that version of you as only a year ago. Like that seems like so many past versions of you, if that makes sense. Yeah, which is cool.
That's a cool way to look at it. Yeah, because I feel like for me to like do this job, it requires a lot of like the personal development. I've had to grow really fast with it. And also too, on top of that, like I've just wanted to just be a better person this year. So the amount of things that have changed in the way I come across to like my friends and people that I work with and stuff like that, I feel like has been a giant exponential leap forward, especially towards the last half of the year. And yeah, like I just, like we're doing the podcast, we're like 30 something episodes in, the job is going well, my health is going well, my friendships are going well, like everything is just going well. 2020 has been
It's been
a great fucking year. Like
Yeah.
this has been the best year of my life so far.
Wow.
And I don't know, for 2020, I hear people like saying bad things about it, and like it's totally understandable, but for me, I'm just like, yeah, I didn't get to go to festivals, I didn't get to go out, I didn't get to do things, but like a lot of shit came to fruition for me this year, so
Right.
it's been
I
good.
think you like grew in maturity probably the most this year. Than, I mean, we've only been friends for a few years, but like the leap of like I said, like the version that I saw of like last year compared to this year, it seems like you're a completely different person, mature wise.
That frontal lobe development at 25.
Yeah, 25, dude. Guys like wake up. They're like, oh, nice furniture. I can be a good guy. Like, what?
Yeah.
I can like have, I don't know. There is like a change. Like I feel like I've noticed it. It's like you go from like caring about yourself and like your exterior differently. I think there's just like a different sense of like consideration of things in your life and wanting nicer things, and I don't know, like just getting your shit together,
getting stable. This year is the first time in my entire life I've like absolutely been in love with having like a routine and structure. And I do the same shit every day. I sit in the same table every day at the coffee shop. I eat the same stuff every day. I take the same exact bike ride every single day. I'm doing the same shit, and I've never been happier just doing the same shit again and again and again. Because I know that me doing the same shit again and again and again right now is going to allow me to do whatever I want to do later.
Right.
So maybe it's just that time period of just me like grinding it out with the routine.
And I think you like routine.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a very like healthy thing for you.
I never used to like it, but I guess now that I've got like a good routine, I'm realizing how beneficial it is for me. So now I'm like, yes, I get to do the same thing 7
every
days a
day.
week. I'm so excited.
Yeah, like I feel like you're always excited to go, like you're never doing it out of like, oh, I have to. Maybe it's because it's your routine that you created for yourself.
Yeah.
No one's telling you have to do it, you know? So it's like an ideal thing for you to do.
That's very true.
So
yeah,
it's good.
So what about 2021, Kristina?
What about?
What do you have in mind? What are your
Dude,
goals?
I haven't even like, this month has been so weird for me. I feel like there was a lot of like brain fog.
Okay.
Like I didn't feel like I did yoga still, and like I tried to like internally connect, but it wasn't registering the same way. Like I felt like I was in a fog pretty much. Like I didn't really want to try. Like I wanted to just like relax, and like there was like a different mental energy, I would say, with like being sick or whatever. So coming out of that, and like what I've talked about in like past episodes, like the winter is really difficult for me. So like I think just like being positive, and I'm like planning on doing that this week, of just like writing out a few things that I'd like to see for my life in like 2021, because I did it last year and it was really beneficial. Like that is like one thing I do like recommend everyone doing, is just like sitting down before the new year and just like even jotting down 3 things. It doesn't have to be like, I'm gonna start going to the gym every single day next year. Like you can just make it like a simple goal to do, you know? So I haven't really let myself like think about 2021. I know I want to get rid of my debt. I know that's going to be like priority. That's like one my like main goal. So
I'm sure that'll be taken care of pretty quickly.
I feel like it's like,
especially since you're getting back to all like the shoots and stuff like that again.
Yeah, I feel like it's like picking up again, because I had to reschedule a lot of stuff, and but yeah, I just feel like I'm in like a good place now. Like I'm not spending as much on rent, and it's like I'm aligning financially with what I want the next half of the year, like the end of 2021 to be. So I'm like just focusing on like the next 6 months in a sense, because once I get that shit figured out, I can kind of see the vision of like what I want next, if I want to travel again, or you know, like move back to St. Pete, whatever that may look like. So I feel like you get kind of overwhelmed by looking at the big picture sometimes, and like breaking it down into like small goals has always been like really beneficial for me, because you can't look at like 2 years down the road and be like, okay, I need to just get to that step without the smaller steps, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, so I feel like, to answer your original question, I've had some coffee today. I think getting rid of like my debt is my big goal.
That's good. Yeah, that'll be a great feeling.
Yeah. I feel like that'll give me some like mental clarity as well. Because I feel like I almost don't debt is a very interesting thing because, like, it makes you feel, of course, you owe something to someone else, right? So you feel like I have this underlying energy that if I was to go on a trip right now, I technically shouldn't, I don't deserve to do that because I should be taking care of this, you know?
Yeah.
So I think since I've been, you know, dealing with this for like a few years now, getting rid of that like underlying like subconscious guilt will make me feel better about, you know, going here, like, you know, whatever the next year will bring. Like, we don't know travel wise, but I think I'm really excited to get rid of that like subconscious feeling of like I don't deserve this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, so that's like just one thing I would like to clear next year to just get it off like my conscious, I guess.
That'll be a massive thing for sure.
Yeah. What about you? What is like a
I'm also with you on the debt thing. I'm like super close to getting that taken care of.
Yay, that's exciting.
Just being able to like have that gone and then take like trips and stuff like that. Like I ideally would like to take a trip like every other month, even if it was just like a weekend trip to like the other side of the state or something like that. Like I just want to get into the traveling because I've like wanted to do that for so long, but of course with COVID and then this new mutant strain that's apparently coming out or whatever the fuck.
Oh, yeah. Mutant strain.
Yeah, another.
Hopefully I had that.
whatever the new political agenda is with anyways.
Whatever.
Anyways,
conspiracy.
I would like to travel more.
So you're gonna get the vaccine?
Fuck no, absolutely not.
Really?
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Not
when
a
it comes
chance.
down to like being able to travel.
I will not travel for another 2 or 3 years and let everyone else experience the side effects from the vaccine. I'll stick with my routine for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, which might be more beneficial for you, and then you'll really be able to travel in a few years because you will have saved so much money by not going out and doing like smaller trips. Then you can like actually experience like a lot.
Just another like 2 or 3 years of grind mode without just like constantly going out. Yeah, but absolutely not to the vaccine. Not a chance.
Not doing the vaccine.
Not a single chance. You couldn't pay me if someone offered me $50,000 to take the vaccine. I would turn it down. You wouldn't
do it?
I wouldn't. Not a chance.
Wow.
Yeah. There's too many things that are wrong with this entire situation for me to trust the vaccine that's coming out for something that's not as severe as it actually is.
Right.
But anyways.
Off topic. That's not happening in 2021 for Steven.
Yeah, no vaccine in 2021. I really want to get closer to like my core people. Got like new friends that we just like been building, working on the goals and stuff like that, and it's like a good group of people that are like coming together. And I want to just obviously grow with my job, start growing more myself. I'm trying to read like another 25 books again.
Wow.
The whole year. Getting hardcore into like meditation, trying to learn Spanish. Going to learn Spanish, not trying to learn Spanish.
Going to learn
Spanish. And then, just like little things that like improve my day-to-day life and health and success. And just a good year.
What do you like to do to shut off?
Because
I feel like a lot of your time is spent progressing, which is incredible because not a lot of people can spend so much time like that benefit themselves. You know, like I think you're really dedicated to that. But what do you do that lets you turn off for the day?
So my bike rides for sure.
That's what I was gonna.
Yeah, my bike rides are probably my biggest way of like shutting off because it's just like an hour or two just like blasting like house music or trance music, riding downtown. It's nice outside doing that, working out. And then, like, ideally, if I was traveling, that would be where I would, like, just work really hard for, like, 3 or 4 weeks and then take a trip. And then, like, that 2 or 3 day trip of just enjoying myself as, like, my reset.
Yeah,
get back to work
nice.
And then work until the next trip. So it's, like, mini retirements, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
So,
it's like a time to be, like.
And honestly, like, reading for me, even if it's, like, still personal development or something like that, is still, like, it's relaxing.
Yeah.
Because, like, I like reading. I feel like I'm learning and growing as a person, but it doesn't feel as much like work as like work does. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people feel like it's like a chore, but I think it's also like you said, like routine has a big part of it. Like if you're looking forward to like reading for an hour every day, like you enjoy it, you know. Yeah. So that's awesome.
It feels good to get smarter, I guess.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I just benefited my time so well. Yeah. You know, like I used my time like in in a productive way, or just a way that you're bettering yourself.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I feel like I'm so monotone today because I'm not drinking.
I know it's been a little while since we've done an episode, but we wanna what we have planned for 2021 with the podcast.
What do we have planned?
Are
we ever gonna have a guest on?
Hopefully today.
Hopefully
today we'll record that. But I think given the fact that when we started this podcast, I was a bartender and you were doing photography, but like a little bit less seriously than what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we could get shit-faced on a Wednesday night and a Thursday night and a Friday night and just record episodes. And then
and I
COVID
live
hit.
down the street.
Yeah. But now I think that come 2021, we may do like an episode every other week.
Yeah.
Not sure when we'd start that, but we want to have more meaningful episodes, and we want this to still feel like it's like, fun for us to do instead of like an obligation. So that may be something that we're looking into. And then also we do want to have guests on, but we want it to be like some quality content with the right people.
Right. We don't want to just like have random people on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that, and
I think it's good.
Yeah. We'd have like a break between this and season 3. Season 3 we would revamp.
Yeah.
Probably like 25 episodes each season.
Would be nice.
Keep doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. I like 25. I feel like that's like a good chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's better than 24.
25. Oh my gosh, I was talking about this. Like, my whole life is just like SpongeBob quotes.
It really
like
is.
Yesterday I was like hanging out with Kristina and Kara. They're like some of my like longest friends or whatever, and they're in town, and we were getting a drink, and like it was called like Hundo or something, and like out of nowhere I was like, he wumbo, she wumbo, or whatever. It's like from Patrick. It's like one episode, and like we just ran with it. He's like, SpongeBob wumbo. It's first grade. Do you remember that episode?
Of course.
I was like
I
dying.
feel like
I was like, it just came back.
Most people in our generation, like you can make a SpongeBob reference and everyone is gonna know.
Yeah, like it just like pops in your head, and you're like,
there was a point in time when I was younger where I hated SpongeBob. And I think it was because like a few people that I didn't like in elementary school were always talking about SpongeBob, so I just naturally I was like, no, the show's so stupid. And then I started watching it, and then it was like
it's funny.
The best show ever, and now it's a part of life.
It's like definitely for millennials. Like if you're in your 20s, it's been a pivotal point of your childhood. Yeah. So good. I love it.
Do you have any quick advice for anyone else walking into 2021, letting go of things in 2020? Things of that nature?
I think letting yourself have a fresh start, even if it's like cliche, like I think a lot of people feel like they don't want to try because there's such like a spike in like bettering yourself, like almost like resisting that because it's like everyone's doing it, right? But like I think looking at this new year as like a next chapter instead of just being like, oh, another year, you know what I mean? Like taking what happened in 2020 and applying it to who you want to be like next year is like such an important thing that I'm trying to recognize as well, is like looking at myself and like everything we went through this year as like we've done this, so whatever is up for next year, it's like you're ready for it. Like you're already prepared for it.
Yeah.
Instead of being like scared and like, oh, what's going to happen? It's like, we're set up for this. Like we live in this time. And I'm like a huge believer in like, if you're living right now, you are capable of living through this time period. We were meant to live in 2020 and through this, whatever this is,
Absolutely.
So it's like, I'm a like huge believer that like, you're not here for like no reason, and like you're fully capable of like handling what's coming. So just like reminding yourself of that perspective of like this past year set you up for next year. So but yeah, I think it's also important to let yourself feel when things are down. Like I think it's okay to feel like I don't feel like feeling good right now, like letting yourself feel those like darker emotions, but not living in them, and just like being like, okay, I'm processing this. I feel this way and it's okay, but it's not like my main this is not who I am in a sense.
Yeah,
so yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that was all over the place. So
No, it's okay. It was good.
yeah.
Was
What
good.
about you? What's like your main thing?
I think be very intentional about trimming off the fat. And by that, I mean people that don't make you happy, people that pull you down, things that take up your time, aren't moving you forward. If there's like just, I don't want to say sad emotional things, but like just things that you know you could let go of and it would make you happier doing the work to like get rid of those things or like to get over those things and heal those things. And I think like whether it was 2020, 2021 or like 5 years ago, the single most important thing that we can do as humans is like just the continuous work on bettering ourselves. Even if it's 1% a year, you're still getting better every year, but always trying to do better than you did the day before. So between books, self-awareness, podcasts, even just going to the gym, taking a walk every day, meditating, any and everything that you can do that would slightly benefit your life or move you in the right direction it's like the best thing that you can do. And then as a whole, if every human being on the planet or a majority of the human beings on the planet are all progressively working on moving forward in some way, we're raising the collective consciousness among all of us, and the world is just becoming a better place.
Right.
So yeah, do the work and trim off the fat and be grateful. Always be grateful.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah. But
if anything, just be grateful. I think that's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Be grateful, and then you can have even more of everything you want because you're at least appreciating what you've got. So
yeah, that's huge.
yeah.
Well, this was a great episode.
It was good coming back.
Woo!
Flowed.
We're
a little
ready.
monotone, no alcohol today, but we got some coffee.
Yeah, we got coffee. We're like really growing up around here.
We really are.
But we're not boring. Like
We're
I'll
not
probably
boring.
be drinking the next episodes.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
We'll see if our guest is gonna drink with you or not.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next year.
Happy New Year.